Hello everyone, this is Ali Reza. In this episode, as I promised, we will work on how we can do our selections of the nodes. So when we click on a node, we get selection, or when we drag, we can select our nodes and at the same time moving the nodes around. So before I continue, I have this folder on my resources, and that is all the resources I developed until now for this project and the next iteration of the editor for behavior trees. So I will share this guy with you in the resources part of this chapter, and I hope Steven catches it up and puts it there. So I will share these guys with you. And honestly, I want to import them right now because I find myself going back and forth a lot. And I remember that I had a resources folder here. And by the way, I won't put everything in there because, as you see, for example, these are just for behavior trees, okay? And other type of trees. These are not being used anymore. So let's shift delete them. And let's see what else I don't use, because I moved toward using Font Awesome and those icons are not being used anymore. So this, and this. And the things that I'm sharing with you are just for the normal skin. So there's no lights. If you want to develop your light skin ones, well, I will put a bonus video on how you can do it yourself in near future. Error light, failure, normal, no normal light, and not that, not what is this one? Yeah, light version. I don't need that. And these guys are not being used. View back normal, and the light is gone. Okay, so I will keep it on my second monitor. Inside our resources, well, you see me always using Alt-Enter to open this guy. There is another way of doing it. You just right-click and choose Properties, and you are there, okay? So for the test node, I have that. Okay, that's okay. Cursor, I have it. Node back active, I don't have it. So I will add existing files, go to my R&D iteration 5, my resources. So node active, connection active, I don't have it. No, I have it, okay. These guys, I have it. This I don't have, and don't have. Do I? Yeah, I have this one. Okay. Anything else? Not for this project. And after adding it, save it, close this guy if you need to change the names. And right now I don't know what did I select, so what did I import, so I will select all of them, select and set build action, embedded resources. Okay? And saving everything, and yeah. So now I have everything. And the nice thing about your resources folder is that when you keep your mouse on something, it will be shown. So this is one I want, node back selected, and I have to import it because right now I don't have any way of understanding which node is selected or which node is not. So I want to make sure that I get the And this thing comes up every time I click for the first time. I will address that later. So inside utilities, GUI styles, I will find my node 1, node default. I will select this guy, Control C, and I will add it right down there. This is node selected. Okay, and this is node back selected. Of course, I don't have it. So create a read-only property, whatever. I will change the name soon. So Control X, because it shouldn't be a property. It's coming up. Where's my nodes? So there. Static read-only. By the way, guys, if you like my coloring conventions, especially if you have ReSharper, because they are set with ReSharper, tell me in forums and I will post my settings for you. So graphic utils, come on, okay, that load texture. The texture I want was node back selected. There we go, and no PNG. So we got our background, and what is that? Yeah, I don't need that. Now that I have the style, I come up here, not here, where I'm, yeah, that's here. Okay, where I'm defining my style, I want to change it, and I will say if is selected. Then I will say this guy equals to, well, I will be able to change it, does not equals to null. Then I will say if is selected, do this, and yeah. Otherwise, do this. And the one I want is selected. Just to make sure, I can copy the name from here up to here. Okay? And I will build it, build a project. And yeah, I forgot that I have this process event. Okay, successful. Going back to Unity, letting it load. And right now, you see nothing's happening. Well, yeah, I forgot something here. Unable to find the style node selected. Yeah, this happens every time you add a style and your window is open, so you should close it, you load it again, and you load your graph. Okay, no, it won't work. You need to delete the graph, I think. So whatever, and create a test node. Now it's working. Okay, this test node is now selected. Now if I create another one, this one gets deselected and this one is selected. Okay, so I will hook this guy to here, this guy to here. Okay, now you see both of them are selected, and I don't have any means of deselecting or selecting another node or marquee select any nodes. Now back to where we want to start. Now, previous episode I said that I will address the moving the nodes around inside the process event of the node itself. I don't think I will do it there, so I will just create it in node schema that accepts an event called event erect, that is vrect. Okay, now it's private void. I will make it protected virtual, so that anytime if anyone wants to add something to the derivatives of node schema, he can, but I will leave it empty. I will come back to our graph schema and address everything here, because I think the selection of the node, movement of the nodes inside the canvas is the responsibility of the graph itself, not the nodes. And because of that, I have to change the whole thing from my nodes, and well, this will be an adventure even for myself. Okay, so the things that we want to address here is that first, if we hit the delete key on keyboard, we want to delete the selected nodes. Otherwise, we will start addressing stuff. So what we want to do is we want to select a single node if we click in it. We should be able to move all the canvas at once around. Okay, we should be able to select more than one node with drag and select. We should be able to move the selected nodes around. I mean, not the whole canvas, but just the selected nodes. And that would be our job for maybe today, maybe in 2 videos. So when we want to delete the nodes, it's fairly easy to address. We say if the event that we got, event dot key code is delete, and not that, Control Alt space, there we go, key code delete, and selection nodes does not equal to null, and selection node dot any, so we have anything in it. Come on, come on. Any. It won't behave. Come on, ReSharper, show me the system.link. Control and dot. Well, control dot. Control, is it dot or semicolon? Nah. Stupid ReSharper. I want, we have system.link. Is this an extension method of myself? No, it's enumerable. It's inside enumerable. Derp, not selected. Selection node dot any, there we go. So if we have anything selected, then we say, well, here is the thing. If you go with the for each, you would have problem, because we want to delete the nodes, and when we delete the node, we are changing the selection list itself, and it would cause some errors on enumerator, or I think enumerable list is changed on the fly, and the indexing will be destroyed, and basically you would get some errors. So when you want to delete stuff inside your selection, and not only the selection but the whole real stuff, because remember, when we are deleting stuff, we are not only removing stuff from the selection, but also we want to remove stuff from the nodes themselves. And this is a list, and well, we will destroy nodes, so this thing will be changed and it will cause errors. How to avoid it? Well, we will go inside a for loop, not for loop, that I is less than selection and node dot count -1, because remember, counts are indexed 0, and we will go reverse, so I minus minus, and we should say that I is greater than or equals to 0, and we will start I from this guy, the count -1. So we will go reverse, okay? And all we are doing, you say delete node, selection node of index I. Now, delete node is, where is that guy? I don't find it. Ah, there we go. On top. And here we say, well, something will come later when we are dealing with behavior trees. So, how to address this? Well, it's public virtual, we can override it. So we say if node schema dot outputs does not equal null, and node schema dot outputs dot any, then we go for each inside node schema dot outputs var, and we call it output. But we want to say, we say node schema dot related node dot break output connections inside the output dot related output, and then we say node schema dot break well, where is that guy? Come on, break output connection output. And you see that I have problem because it's private. It says make it public or internal. I don't want it to be public because there is no reason for other objects to get access to it, so I will make it internal. Internal means that any derivative of the node can access it, and the objects that contain those things can access it, because here I obtained some nodes. So internally I can call it, but outside of this class and the nodes themselves, no other API should be able to connect it. At least that's what I think the internal means. After that, we want to do the same stuff on the inputs. So we say the inputs and the inputs for each on inputs, and we call it input. So related node break input connection on the input relative node, relative input, and we want to break the input connection on the input. Because we are deleting them, so we need to break those connections. And by the way, I changed the break input connection to internal at the same time. So after that, we already broke the connections on the outputs and inputs of this node and the related node of this node. So now we can say destroy immediate, and we will use this overload, The boolean is allow destroy assets because we are destroying the asset. But before destroying the node schema itself, we should destroy the related node. So we say node schema dot related node, and yes, it's an asset, so true. After that, we say related graph dot nodes dot remove the node schema dot related node, because it is still inside the list. We want to remove it from the list. After that, we say destroy immediate the node schema, and yes, it's an asset. And finally, we say nodes.remove the node schema. And finally, we say selection node.remove the node schema. If it's inside selection node, it will be removed now. Okay? Now this is delete node. So we handled our first case. That was all we had to do for this first case, and yes, we can remove these braces. Okay. Now we want to select from here on, it's my personal journey. Okay? I will move this part on top because it's easier. Okay, so I want to be able to drag and move all the nodes at once, if I can. But how to address it? Well, here is the thing. In my notes, I was assigning it to middle mouse button. I don't want to do that. I want to assign it still to left mouse button, but at the same time, I want to assign it to a key on my keyboard. So how you should do that? How can you take two inputs at the same time? Well, here's the thing. We say if event.event type equals to the key down event type dot key down and event dot. Now here is the thing. We can get the alt button, we can get the control button, and we can get the shift button. Okay, how to use them? And you see we can even get the caps lock, command button. Yeah, different buttons. Well, for the move all buttons, I will go with the control. Okay. Then we want and e.key code. Well, we don't want this. We say e dot. Wait, e dot. How was I getting the mouse? Forgot. E dot button. Stupid guy. E dot button equals to 0. Left mouse. So if we are holding the control and we are clicking the left mouse, but at the same time we want to say and why I'm using event, okay, and we want to make sure that we are dragging. How we can drag? Well, we are using e.type here, key down. So no, actually, let it go. We have the nodes. So we say for each inside our nodes, var node, we say node dot node rect dot x plus equals to the event has something called delta. The delta is the amount of the mouse movement between the frames, so .x. But here I need to divide this guy by a number, because if I don't do that, it will be a cumulative call, and because basically it will be so fast based on the number of nodes I have in the list. The more nodes, the faster it would get. So because it has a direct relationship between the number of nodes and the movement, I can simply divide it by nodes.count. Okay? And here I must make sure that and nodes does not equals to null, and nodes dot any, because if I don't have any nodes, then the count would be 0, and this line would give me a division by 0 error. Although it uses a for each, so if I didn't have any nodes, it would be safe, but meh. Nodes, node rect, not boundary, rect dot y plus equals to the event dot delta dot y divided by nodes dot count. Let's see if this will work. So remember, I have to keep the control and left mouse button. So moving in, keeping down the control, and I move the mouse down and nothing is working. Well, my first thought is that this graph was developed before generating the code, so maybe not, but let's see if I call this event anywhere. Yeah, I'm calling it on update GUI, so it should work. Let's see if we get any debugs. So debug.log moving all build, coming back here, keeping control, and you see that it says moving all even though I'm not clicking, just by holding down the mouse, the control key, okay, and I'm not clicking, so this is wrong for some reason. And I don't think this will work, and e.type equals to drag, and it won't give me that, so mouse drag. I think this won't work because event type can't be used as both key down and mouse drag. But if I move this part and I need to build this, build, and go back, clear the console, and hold down key, the control key, I don't get anything. But now, oh yeah, that is working now. Okay, so I can hold down the key and move all the things with each other, but you notice that now it's slow. And in my notes, I was doing this part inside the node itself, but now that I'm doing it on graph, I think it's redundant to use this part. So let's see if this will work. So holding down the control, dragging, yeah, that's working now. Okay, now we can drag all the nodes around at the same time. And that is stupid. Debug can go to hell. Now, if we are not holding down the control, if I'm holding down the Alt key and Shift key, I have the ability to do the combination, okay? So I will copy the whole thing. If I'm not holding the control at all. Okay, instead of nodes, now I will go for the selection node, any, and mouse drag. I want to do this, but instead of nodes, I will go inside the selection nodes. Okay, so build. Now remember, we have two nodes in the selection node. If I move, now I should have both of them being moved, but one node is being moved. Hitting down control, I still can move both, but this means that although I'm seeing this guy as selected, it means that my graph has only one element in its selection, and that's correct. So why didn't I lose the selected attribute on this guy? Let's dig in and find it. So we have nothing here to do. There is no way of doing this here. The thing is that I'm here, okay? Inside my work view, whenever I'm creating a node here, actually, where is this guy? Here, when I'm calling to create node, before that, I should empty the selection. Or actually, let me see. Why is this happening? It shouldn't. Basically, when I'm creating another node, there we go. Now we get two nodes in selection. So it's still keeping that guy as selection. Yes, that is it. But this guy is not selected anymore. So I have few bugs in here. Let's delete the graph, create a new one, and create a test node, and create another test node. This guy gets out of the selected node, of course, because this guy is selected. But if I move, it's still inside the selection, and that is wrong. Okay? So let's see, how is it working? If I go back here, there we go. We are removing it. We are making the previous selected node outside of the graph selection as is selected, but we are not moving it from outside of the selection group. So we say schema graph dot selection node dot remove the selected node. Okay, so we get this guy out of the selection at the same time. And if we build it now, coming back, delete the graph, and I need to address that clear graph very soon, because now that we have the delete node code inside there, we can do that. But if I create a test, and if we create another one, there we go. Now it's not in selection anymore, this one, okay? And if I go inside the graph itself and take a look, my selection is now just one element, just like I expected to do that, okay? Cool. So I can drag the one selected node, or I can hit down control and move all the nodes at the same time. If I make a connection, it's still that one selected. There we go. That will work. Now I want the ability to click inside one node and make that one the only selection. Okay. So back to code. Now we have done this part. From here on, we say else if the event button is still 1, is still 0, but instead of drag, we want the click, so mouse down event. Okay? But before that, I will use another combination. And that is still, I will go with the control, I think, or with the shift key. No, actually, let's deal with this guy alone. And I messed up. Okay, so if you're clicking the left mouse, and instead of dragging, we are just clicking, we should call something. I want to be able to break out of a loop. Well, we say if event dot alt, there is no way around it, else. So if I'm holding the alt button and I will move this guy out of here. No, actually, this guy should come out of here and inside here. And we say else, do this. The whole thing goes inside else. And yeah, this happens when you do things on the fly in front of camera. So if I'm not holding down the alt, I should be able to move the selection nodes around when I'm mouse dragging. But if I'm holding the alt, I want to change this selection. Okay? If I'm clicking, the whole thing that I want to happen is first check if no, actually, when I'm clicking, first I want to deselect all nodes. Okay? Then we want to say if once connection. So if we are in connection mode, then we want to say once connection equals to false. Because if you remember, right now, if I click here and I move, there is no way of me losing that connection. And this is nice. I still can move things around. Okay, but I don't have the ability to disconnect unless I click here. Okay? Yeah, basically. So what I want to do is being able to disconnect and deselect all nodes. And I will come back to this guy very soon. But if I want in the connection mode and I'm clicking, then I want to move out of the connection node, connection mode, and then we say if connection node does not equals to null. Then we want to say connection node dot is selected equals to true. So we get this guy out of that guy, but we still keep it inside the connection. So we say connection node dot add No. Sorry, wait. Selection node dot add the connection node, and we want to add it as the selected node. So we say selected node equals to our connection node. After that, we say if active output dot children, or wait a second. Yeah, it does not equals to null, sorry. Then we say active output dot is occupied equals to false. After that, we say active output equals to null, and connection node equals to null. And who said I need to do that? Okay. So what I'm doing is that first I'm deselecting all nodes. Then I'm getting out of the connection mode, but at the same time I keep the previous node that I clicked as selected, and I'm checking if the output that I'm clicking on has no children. Then getting out of the occupied, because if you remember in our handle connections, before we finalized the connection, we were clicking at it as occupied. Then we reset this stuff. Now, deselect all node is really simple, and that is the last thing I will do in this episode. We say for each inside our nodes node, we say node dot is selected equals to false. So we don't care if it's selected or not beforehand. We just brute force our way, and we say selection node dot clear. This will clear the list. Selected node equals to null, and then we say show properties equals to false, and GUI dot focus. Where is that? Focus control equals to null. This comes handy later on, and I will comment and uncomment it when we go into show properties. For example, if I have a selected node, we will show its properties, but the moment you click inside one of its controls, for example, the name, and you select another node, you would see the previous properties of the previous selected node unless you unfocus that node. Okay? So we get the focus out of the previous selected node so that the properties will reset itself. It will be more obvious when we implement the properties of the selection node. So let's build this guy. Go back into Unity. If I click anywhere in the window right now, I lose the selection, and my left click dragging not works, because you look, our selected nodes is empty, selections is empty. Okay? If I click here and want to make a connection and click, I lose that connection. If I click here and click, I lose the connection and it gets unoccupied. But this guy is selected. Sorry. So if, wait. Okay. This is bad. Yeah, this is bad. The control is working, but without control, if I have any selection right now, I have a selected node, I left click and lose it. That's not what I want. Well, I don't need this part. Oh, derp. This shouldn't be mouse. Yeah, it's mouse down. It's mouse drag. how to handle this. How to handle this? Well, I can introduce a boolean, and here we check if that boolean is false or not. I don't want to do that. Mouse down and mouse drag. Well, let's see. So this becomes selected. I can do this. Good. But as soon as I click without mouse up, I still lose that guy. So I need to introduce that boolean anyway. We will say a private bool mark drag, or well, I have this guy right now. I will use it. So if and not mark drag. Here, if I'm dragging, the very first thing I will do, I will make it true. And we say if event dot button the type equals to mouse mouse up, then we say this guy equals to false. This should work. So I still lose it. Why? It shouldn't now. I'm setting it to true, and we want to do this guy here too. And we are checking if it's false. Then we want to deselect all nodes, because this is what is causing our problem. Button 0. Selection node is not null. We have any selection there, and we are mouse dragging. Then we set mark drag equals to true. Then we check if this guy, this if comes after this one, so, and not mark dragged. Sometimes, although it should properly build and Unity should properly import everything. So, okay, delete this guy, retry it, although it should work the way I think it should work. Yeah, I'm losing the connection there. Well, I tried something. I put return at the end of each if statement, and I removed the else because it was redundant, but I think I know what's going on. You see, the moment I start clicking for the drag, the system picks this part because, well, at the very first frame, I'm not dragging. I'm just mouse down. I'm clicking this guy, okay? And that would be bothersome. That would be actually troublesome because the very first frame, I'm clicking, then I'm dragging. And it's even obvious in the something like Visual Studio. Right now, although I'm holding the mouse down, but there's no dragging action being caused. So now it's causing this guy, okay? So what if I move it here and I put it here? And build. So now I don't get it. Yeah, because the mouse up is not being fired. The reason it's not being fired is this part. So I don't need this, and that means I don't need any one of these sections. And build. That part works. Now this part works. This part works. Cool. Drag, and yeah, that's the point. Now as soon as I move the mouse, and as soon as I release the mouse, I will lose the selection. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. What I want is to move this guy from here to here, and we say, if not that, then deselect the nodes, and let's see if it works. So we are doing this, then we delete it. Okay, cool. Now it's being fired. Now it's, yeah, that's the behavior I wanted. Okay, so I can click and I will keep this guy as selected. Cool. And I can deselect, and you see that the occupation when it's not deselected. And now I get this guy as selected. I can move it around. I can hit Control and move everything around, and I can click on any place empty, and I get that. Now the only thing remaining is when I'm clicking inside a node rect, I want to get the node selected. And that happens before mouse drag, actually. So we say if event dot type equals to mouse down, we want to do this. We will loop inside each node. Okay, and we say if node dot node boundary or node rect, node boundary dot contains the event dot mouse position, then we say selected. We want to do two things. We want to say selected node equals to the node. We want to say selection node dot clear, and we want to say selection node dot add the node, and we return. So we both break out of the loop and we return from the method. Build. And if I click, nothing's gonna happen. Well, this works. This still works. This still works. This still works. But this is not working. Actually, well, this is interesting. I can click and select each node separately and move that one. But as soon as, wait. Wait. It's falling in here. On mouse up. It deselects every node. Well, I can get this part out of here. This is mouse down. It will fall in same problem. We have something here. Remember, I had this set node. I will get it from here. As soon as I'm clicking here, I will set node equals to true. So I identify that I'm clicking inside a node, and here I will say and, not set node. This should work. So I click and I lose. No, come on. Well, I'm clicking inside a node, you know. Let me see. The graph itself. And where is the set node? Here is selected. So I lose the mark drag. I don't lose the set node. So at the end of here, well, we are deselecting all nodes. I can say set node equals to false to reset that one. Well, it should be false by default to fall there. That's derpy. Here is the thing. If we are inside anything that hits here and it's true, it will return. Otherwise, here we say set node equals false. Build. Come back to Unity. And I will click. So set nodes gets false. I will click. It will get the set node to true. So set node is true. Why are you deselecting it? Although it's not deselecting it. Ah, wait. I'm derp. I forgot something. Basically, what I forgot is this part. That I'm setting the selection to the node, but I should say node that is selected equals to true. This will cause the graphics to work. So I will deselect all nodes, and I'm keeping an eye here, and I'm just selected that node. Everything's working. My mouse up, just remove the set node. It shouldn't, because the next time, it's working. Okay, it is working. So if I hit here, I lose selection. Nothing's working. Good. I still can multi-select. I can select the node and move it around, holding down the control, doing this, losing the connection, and well, this should work. And you see that now it's working. Yeah, good. Although when I'm clicking here, I want to lose this guy. So it happens inside, and this video got a little above 1 hour, but that's okay. So inside connection, when we start handling the connection, is selected equals true. And before doing this, we will say for each inside our parent graph dot selection node, or actually I can say now that I have it, parent graph dot deselect all nodes. And yeah, I need to convert it to internal. So build. Now if I come back, as soon as I click here, I should remove every node from selection. This guy, well, let's see. This guy is getting selected, and this guy is selected now. Oh, one more thing. When I hit here, okay, I want to say deselect all nodes, then do this, so that we will see this. When I click here, that guy gets deselected, this guy gets selected, this guy is selected, but this guy is not getting selected. Okay. Well, please break connections. Thank you. That guy is selected, so it keeps selected, but as soon as I do this, I want this guy to be selected too. Or not, I'm not sure. Well, this is just the design, you know. Well, let's see. I can do this inside connections when I'm finalizing the connection. At the end, I can say parent graph dot selection node dot add this, and I will say parent graph dot selected node equals to this. Build. So break connections, nothing selected. I will select that one, and now it's selected. Okay, and I will have to say this dot is selected equals to true, so that the graphics update. So nothing is selected, that one is selected, and now this one is selected too. And well, the thing is that when I'm marking the selected node, I will draw the properties for the selected node alone. So here it will be selected node, and I will see its properties. But when I click here, this guy will become the selected node, and its properties will be shown here. Although both of them are in selection, but the properties only will show up here, okay, for the selected node. That is bad, in my opinion. I think I should say before this, parent graph dot deselect all nodes. I just want the selection to be switched back to this guy. So nothing is selected. That guy got selected. As soon as I click here, that guy is deselected, and I will switch to this guy to see the results here. Okay, cool. Now the only thing left, and I think I will have to handle it in another episode, is for market select multiple nodes, and that's really easy. It's just in here when we are holding down the Alt key, and if you look up, we are using everything other than the show properties and drag rect. Show properties will be used when we are showing the properties of each node, but this drag rect is what we will work in next episode inside here. Okay? Until then, have fun everyone. Bye-bye.